Magoha, Odudu Barbara Magoha, and the son Michael Magoha have eulogized the late professor as one who prioritized his family and gave unconditional love. The family, which says it will miss Magoha, holds he was a man who had a firm stand on critical issues and valued truth, efficiency, and constructive criticism as his guiding principles. Our reporter Henry Tende now brings us the story of the late Professor George Magoha as told through the eyes of his family.
My mom had a vision in 1980 that George Albert Omore Magoha was destined to be a great man, and that he needed me and she had to allow me to get married to him.
It is a journey down the memory lane for the widow of the late Professor George Magoha, Odudu Barbara Magoha, of their 40-year marriage, as she tells how love grew between the two of them while pursuing higher education in Nigeria.
But she gave my husband two conditions. The first one was that I had to finish my undergraduate studies. The second one was that if he married her daughter, he had to marry her too. And he asked me what was that about. I said it meant from now on, I've transferred responsibilities to you. You take care of my mom, you bury my mom if she goes before you.
Barbara Magoha goes ahead to shower praises to her late husband, stating that he unconditionally supported, respected and loved her at all times throughout their marriage.
Everything of his, he did in medical precision. You take history, which is the problem, you investigate, make a diagnosis, and make a decision.
The son, Michael Magoha, was not left behind. He eulogized his father as one who was full of joy, full of life, yet very firm in his decisions. He added that the late professor was truthful at his work and made sure that everything was done efficiently.
He was available. It didn't matter if he was a surgeon, if he was a cabinet secretary. And that's because he believed in family. And it was always the same. One phone call. If he can talk, he talks immediately. If he can't talk, immediately he finishes, he would come to me. And that's for 38 years of my life.
The Requiem Mass at Consolata Shrine here in Nairobi also brought to the fore the struggles Professor George Magoha underwent 2 hours before his demise.
He was okay. He was not sick. We talked. He went on the day of, on the 24th of January. He went out, bought things to buy things for the late brother's funeral. At 2 o'clock, he told me he was chesty. I told him to rest.
With her medical expertise, she managed to help her husband regain consciousness, after which he was able to converse with his family.
I put my hand to the wall, and then his tongue was coming out, and I pressed down the tongue for some fresh air. I called the workers who were there, I screamed, and they come and he got revived.
However, he unfortunately got a second and third heart attack, and when he regained consciousness, he asked to speak to his son, Michael.
Then I called my son, I asked him, where are you? He said, I'm in theater. What, are you operating or assisting? He said he was operating. I said, please hand over. Your father is not feeling fine. I think you better just come quietly. And he came. So when my son arrived, my husband spoke to my son. My son said, okay, fine. When he arrived, I said, your father has had a heart attack. And but now he looks better. He said, there's no problem. You must be on admission.
The efforts to rush him to Nairobi Hospital to save his life did not bear fruit, as he succumbed to a fourth attack.
He said he wanted to go for a long haul. He was assisted. He went for the long haul. Then Professor Mwanda came in, and he is the one who said, oh, you arrived. Please check my blood pressure. As the blood pressure was being checked, he had the second attack and was rushed down there. And I think it must have been one of the most stressful things for my son when he had the third attack, knowing the implications of having a third attack. And when he finally had the fourth one, he passed, and all this happened within 2 hours.
President William Ruto, in his speech that was read by ICTC's Eliud Owalo, eulogized Magoha as a great public servant who left a remarkable impression in the education sector in the country. Henry Tende, Look Up TV.